Almost there. Waiting to go live. Okay, let me check on LinkedIn. Are we live, guys? Yes, looks like we are. Awesome. We are live. SudhaLive. Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Sudha Jamte, and this is SudhaLive. I love meeting you all, especially my students who have just come from LinkedIn, from taking my many courses. Especially, I'm seeing a lot of you who are taking the Designing Agent AI course and posting your certificates on LinkedIn. So, congratulations. Um, so, this is my happy hour with you. I do this once a month. I'm a technology futurist and educator from Silicon Valley, and I love talking to you all. And what we do in Sudha Live is I will answer any questions that you post on LinkedIn. This is streaming on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And I'm going to watch only LinkedIn and answer your questions. But I have a plan. My goal here is you're learning AI. Some of you are learning IoT or autonomous vehicle because I have courses about AI in connected products, AI, generative AI, agent AI. And I have two more AI courses that I just wrapped up, one on Notebook LM and one on Glean AI at the LinkedIn recording studios. So that should drop anytime soon. So what I like to do is, especially when you're in AI space, and there's some of you who are my students from the many universities that I've taught, or you're new and you're not new to AI, maybe you're new to AI, or you're looking at how to make sense of this space, what's going on. And so this is the perfect place for you. So we're going to do two things. One, I'm going to help you make sense of all the noise and the news that is happening in AI space to figure out what is real, where's the opportunity, and how you can focus on learning where you should pivot if you're thinking about, changing directions or, going deeper into one of the technologies or an application area or an industry, specifically making sense of AI space. The second thing is, I'm going to do this not as a pundit and give you my point of view, which I am capable of pretty much in my classes and my writing, but I'm going to tell you where are the opportunities because I'm talking to my learners. That's my goal here. Ask me questions if you're facing challenges at work, if you're thinking about how to pivot, or where if you're looking to change jobs or move into a new job. In US, we had a whole bunch of federal employees who lost their jobs, and I'm seeing a lot of posts on LinkedIn. So I'm going to be sharing jobs and opportunities. And my belief is when you're learning something, unless, especially as an adult learner, unless you connect the dots and make sense of what you know relative to your experience or your business acumen, then it doesn't cement it. Then you feel like you kind of knew it, but then you hear a new jargon and you say, here's a new reasoning model, and our reasoning model is better than the other person's. Then it gets confusing. And so I believe that you need to connect the dots and build something, make something, do a project, do a pilot, or come up with some research and publish the research. When you go deeper into research, you're actually making, going deeper hands-on, right? That's what I encourage. So, going to demystify what's happening in the AI space and look at opportunities, come share AI jobs and call for papers and research opportunities and things like that. And sometimes I would also share some some events. Today, I'm not going to focus so much on events. I just came back last week speaking at Responsible AI Summit at Northeastern University in their Oakland branch. It was an amazing event, and I met many of you there, and many of you followed up. So I hope like some of you are there because I'm going to be talking about the lot of jobs I'm seeing in the responsible AI space too. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm looking at you, and LinkedIn actually shows me a number of people who are there. So if you feel comfortable, feel free to introduce yourself. If you don't want to introduce yourself, you're still welcome to actually talk about, ask a question, and that's okay too, right? So that's what we're going to do. And the more you engage with me, this is going to be more useful for you. Instead of me just saying these are the things I've planned, like a lesson, and just talk, The more questions you have, we can have a discussion, or you can help me pivot and go deeper into whatever area you're thinking about that where I need to help you, right? I can help you. Okay, that's the plan. Okay. So one of the things I've always said in all my classes is my student community is at Business School of AI right here on LinkedIn. So when you finish a course, one of the things you feel is like you feel excited, you're sharing a certificate, but you also want to know what more can I do? So my learner community is called Business School of AI. You can follow Business School of AI and you will get posts, you'll have content, you'll have reading material, you have like, I posted a summary of the research, not the research, the Responsible AI Summit summary. Let me see if I can find that for you. Yeah, I want to share my screen. I think this is it. So this is Business School of AI. Business School of AI, and my key learnings. So from Peter Norvig, Lily Ganges, a whole bunch of people. I'm not just going to read out names. But what I did is I just found one lesson that I found from every one of them that I found very inspiring, something very practical that we can bring to work. So I posted it there. So if you follow Business School of AI, that's an easy place where, you know, I will be sharing content of all kinds. As I'm seeing something in the news, I would, you know, if I feel like that is something my students need to know, I can't wait for a month to talk to you, I would put that. Also, I have a newsletter called Jamte newsletter, and it is bit.ly/Jamte. Let me go back to that. bit.ly/Jamte newsletter, and that goes out once a month. And so let me, cool Google, do this. Okay, bit.ly/Jamte newsletter. Why is it taking time to load? So here you will find the latest newsletters that I send out. So this is the Feb newsletter I'm showing you. And you will have, you know, opportunities, everything that I'm showing you. So I did a session on demystifying DeepSeek. So it's here. Various different jobs, you know, amazing people who inspire me that I congratulated, and then the different jobs and events and stuff that we list here, right? And I have a social media intern, LM Victor. Thank you, LM, for putting this together. So I appreciate that. So those are two things that you can mildly consume content and just do that. Or you can come into Weekly WED, which is on Zoom, and you can have a live discussion with the speaker. And we have been running this for a little over 5 years. So you can understand what's happening in the AI space for real, right? So you get the real practitioners who are coming and talking about it. And one such practitioner is Dia Win. Let me find that. I'm going to show you a little clip of what Dia Win told us at Weekly WED. So I attended this Responsible AI Summit in practice, and I'm saying, okay, I want to know how people are doing this in industry. And Dia Win, I hope I'm not blocking Dia Win's face from my share here, guys. Do you see Dia Win's face here? Okay. So Dia Win is the Responsible AI practice lead. She founded that organization in Amazon AWS and has grown it and adapted it to new policy initiatives. And so she spoke to us about the core pillars of responsible AI. This is the AWS model. And what I shared you earlier on Business School of AI is from various different companies and various different perspective of people who are practicing responsible AI. Okay, I'm going to show you like a few minutes of this, and then I have a quiz for you. I have a question for you, so watch carefully. Okay. Let me play this. I just want my face to not block Dia, so I'm just hiding that, okay?
The next question is, how do we advocate for responsible AI in a corporate setting? The pressure to reduce costs is, pressure to reduce costs is usually high, and in critical situations, management often prefers the quick and most cost-efficient approach, which is rarely the most ethical. Have you ever had to defend ethics in a tough meeting? If so, how to do it? So I'll give you this example. When I first started the practice, it was called AI ethics. And we ended up having to make a pivot to responsible AI first because There was a little bit of a visceral reaction from individuals. So this was in 2020, so recognize sort of difference in time, difference in conversation as well. But people were sort of viscerally responding to like the word ethics. What does that mean? What are you trying to imply? Are we not moral? Right. And we're like, well, that's not what we're really saying. We want you to sort of unpack and consider all of these things. So I was able to pivot the word to responsible AI. And some people say, well, why would you do that? That's like watering down our conversation or whatever. And I said, no, if it helps to get me a seat at the table, then I don't care what the word is called. The objective is still the same. And so sometimes you have to meet people where they are and understand the audience with which you're talking to. The other thing was that I changed the sort of our core first call deck with our customers to enabling responsible AI adoption or innovation. Why? Because some of the things they didn't want to necessarily hear, but they cared about the dollars. And if I could show them that focusing on these things would actually help them scale, and with scale, then that means that we could see increased revenue and increased opportunity to innovation, then they were much more amenable to have this conversation of like, what do we need to do to address those things? And then deal with the balance in terms of the cost. So some of it again is meeting them where they are. I may not use the same terms in every conversation, understanding the customer and what their demands are, but understand what's valuable to that stakeholder. So when I go in and talk to finance, it's about the money. When I go and talk to IT, right, it's about their systems and the security of their systems. And sort of meeting them where they are to drive towards the goal of making sure the systems are safe, the systems are secure. We're considering mitigating the risk to be able to deliver this. And we talk a lot about the risks, as well as trying to balance the opportunity, but risk and
Okay, so this was a 1 hour long conversation, but I wanted to show you a very important point in here. So I hope you're listening. And Diavin started this as a responsible AI practice in 2020, focused on AI ethics, and she showed how she shows the value of this to customers and is now running a responsible AI practice for Amazon AWS. So my question to you is, what is the difference between AI ethics and responsible AI? You heard what Diavin said and how she adapted it, but today we've been hearing a lot about AI ethics and policies and AI ethics and regulation, and then we recently are hearing from US about how they don't want to do regulation. And there's this whole debate on ethics is AI ethics actually stifling innovation? And so, does it mean that he should innovate at the cost of ethics and morality? What does that mean? And if you're saying AI ethics, does that mean you're preaching morality? And is there an agreement on that? And so, we've switched from talking about AI ethics. And I'm seeing a lot of companies who used to hire AI ethicists are now hiring a lot of different jobs in responsible AI field. And I'm going to share a few of them soon. So my question to you is responsible AI is the new word that technology companies or corporations are using instead of AI ethics? Is there a difference in AI ethics and the framework? And I'm telling you this because I used to teach AI ethics to 4 different master's program at Barcelona Technology School. So when I teach the product management masters or big data masters or UX design masters, business transformation leadership, various different groups, I had to build new curriculum for AI ethics. And I thought about similar framework, right? Transparency and explainability, and there were like responsibility, security, safety. They were like but a framework so that students can take that and then go apply that in their work. So on the surface, it feels like it's not different, but there is a big difference between AI ethics. And the people who are pushing for AI ethics are policy people who are saying we need regulation, we need policy. So that is one. But what is the difference between AI ethics? If you are working in a company and you want to build AI responsibly and you want to say, okay, teach me a responsible AI, like all the people who came to the summit, uh, what's the difference? Is there a difference, yes or no? I'm going to come to LinkedIn to see what you have to tell me, and then I will answer that question for you. I'm going to go find the LinkedIn for me first. Where is it? Where is the feed? So first question is, I mean, if you don't feel like talking, chatting, commenting, doesn't matter. You can actually say, I think it is, you can actually do like one of those signs, right? Thumbs up, thumbs down, whole bunch of signs that you can do. You're welcome to do that if that's comfortable for you. It doesn't matter. I'm interested in us having a answer, like having a discussion, having a learning here. So is the question is, for those of you who are joining, this is SudhaLive and I'm Sudha and I'm talking about AI opportunities. Specifically right now, I'm talking about responsible AI and AI ethics. Is there a difference? Is that like responsible AI is the new name for AI ethics, or is there something different? That is my question to you. And you can answer the question right here and tell me whether, right here on LinkedIn. I know this is streaming on YouTube. I'm sorry, guys, I cannot track all the channels. So I'm looking at it only on LinkedIn here. The question is it the same? Is it one and the same? Is it different? Let me find the LinkedIn feed. And tell me whether, right here on LinkedIn. Okay, went to my stream and it is just it was not muted. Okay, I think it's not entirely same. Okay, I see that. Thank you, Hariharan. So, do you have any thoughts on what is different? And it's okay if you don't have a specific thought. I think, okay, so I see another person, Satish, who's saying they are the same. Okay, so I see one person who thinks it's not entirely the same, one person thinks it's the same. Anybody else? I see more people joining in. Welcome, welcome. We are talking about responsible AI and AI ethics. Are they one and the same? And responsible AI in practice in companies. I'm not talking about it. I mean, it could be at a country level, it could be in a nonprofit, it doesn't matter. If you, Hariharan saying, I said that as ethics aspect, responsible aspect are highly relative, okay. But is there a difference? What is the difference? You say they are not exactly the same. There is one very clear difference between the two. What is that? And if you're trying to implement responsible AI at work, or you're saying, okay, guys, we are building this, but let's do this responsibly. And what's the framework in this company? And if you look at that, are you finding any difference? So, for example, when I teach my courses on LinkedIn, in all of them, I have a chapter on ethical considerations. And I have, till honestly, I have used the word responsible AI and ethics kind of interchangeably. But as I started thinking about it, I realized I was focusing more on AI ethics. I was giving responsible AI framework because I want my learners to go apply what they're learning from my classes very practically. But what I was teaching was more ethics, which was much broader. So what is the difference? If you have any thoughts on the difference, you can actually add it here. Otherwise, I'm going to tell you that in just like a minute. Yeah. Okay. I think one of the credits I would give to people who are moving the needle in companies on responsible AI are like people like you who are saying it. I think it's not the same. I think it is okay. So Satish says responsible AI means individual perspective. That is, the individual could be anybody. Is it the person who's building it, or is it different stakeholders? You're very close. So thank you for that. Is there anything else? Otherwise, I'm going to jump in and give you the answer in a minute. So the people who are actually moving the needle on responsible AI are the people like you who are caring about it. You might not have the semantics of it. Just because you don't have the definition doesn't mean that you're not doing the right thing, right? You are doing it. You might be calling it something, somebody else might be calling it something. So two people I want to congratulate, and one of them is Debika Sarkar, who is from my team right here in Business School of AI. And she came in to help me. She's an AI ethicist, engineer turned AI ethicist. And like you here, she wanted to focus on ethics, right? So she said, so as I started building out my courses, she said, let me help you, figure out the ethical consideration in all your scripts. And I write a book. She wants to edit it with the ethical lens. So recently, she got promoted to AI ethics program manager because now she is focusing on the practical aspect of it, right? She's saying, okay, I see what is AI ethics, what needs to be done, but I want to make sure it gets done, it gets practically implemented. So in one sense, I was thinking, okay, now she is called an AI ethics program manager, but she seems to be going more towards responsible AI. And then let me show you another person. This person is not from my team, but somebody I want to congratulate, Orlando Lugo. In fact, you should follow both of them, Debika Sarkar and Orlando Lugo. They have a very interesting career path. For those of you who are saying, okay, Sudha Jamte is going to talk about jobs and opportunities, and that's what I came here for, you should look at the people I congratulate because I bring them in front of you for a reason, because they're good role models, right? So Orlando has a very interesting career path, uh, working in Salesforce. And it's been a very interesting journey because Orlando worked in public libraries, and then now works in Salesforce, evolved, and became grew in Salesforce. And now Orlando has been promoted to senior product manager, responsible AI and technology. And I know some of my students want to move to product management, or those who are in product management want to move to AI, and those who are in AI want to do something in responsible AI. So it's a very interesting path that Orlando has taken. So it'll be interesting to see that. But it is more about the work that Orlando is doing in the name of product management for responsible AI technologies that I would urge you to follow. So now coming back to our question, one big difference, let me see whether there's any other comment there. Ethics mean kind guidelines. Okay. You're now getting somewhere. Responsible means individual perspective. Ethics aspect and responsible are relative. That's good. So the main difference is, yes, so when you're thinking about, okay, I want to implement responsible AI in the company, what should I do? You're thinking about, from your point of view, what do you think is right and wrong? And then you're looking at different stakeholders of the company. So if you remember what Diavin was saying, you're thinking about, is this the right thing for our customer, right? Diavin was saying, I would they when they're focused on, companies focused on on the cost and profits, then I would say, what's in it for them? I'm actually going to tag Orlando and Debika so you can follow them. Congratulations on your motion. Okay. So one is, you look at this different stakeholders, you're thinking about what is the right way of using this technology, right way of building this technology. So building is a key. So I came across a very beautifully done difference between the two. Let me find that, because I want to give credit, because I kept thinking about this, and I was thinking it's not just about, I was thinking it's about building, right? Responsible AI is about building AI, and how do you build it? What do you do, right? So we tend to have discussions in our teams, in our companies, because we are building, and we say that doesn't make ethical sense. We should not be doing this, and we would have a discussion with our colleagues, right? But the other thing is, ethics is about kindness, ethics is about morality. Ethics is something that you do because that's the right thing to do. You don't do it just because somebody's watching you. So many times we see governance, and we talk about that, there is no more governance on this topic, say AI security. That doesn't mean that you should not have AI security when you build with AI. So that is where it gets very interesting. And I want to give credit to Joanna Bryson, because this post was shared from Joanna, but it is a work of her colleague called Alison Gilwald from South Africa. So the question was, is responsible AI, is that a myth? Is everybody's talking about it, right? AI policy has to include the policy of not just how to build AI. That's what responsible AI is giving us a framework, how to build it right, how to think about inclusion, how to think about fairness, how to think about transparency, how to think about security and responsibility. And from individual point of view, from multiple stakeholder point of view, what's in it for them, for all of us who are building AI. I always say this to my students: when you learn AI, think about what AI market you're operating in. It is not about the industry. There are multiple industries, and now AI is pervasive. It's in every industry. And there is AI in our home, AI in the car, AI in our city, AI everywhere, right? It is about, are you working for a company which is building AI as a technology, or working for a technology company? Are you a technologist or any other role implementing AI, building a solution, building a product, building a pilot, integrating AI into something else to build an application? So then it is a very different perspective. So there's responsible AI frameworks for that, but all comes down to building it. So what Joanna pointed out from Alison Gilward is that the entire responsible AI is self-regulating, and it is flawed, because the thinking is that we are saying, okay, we will build it responsibly. Our teams, we will have this think about it, and we will leave it. So the difference that Alison Gilward points out is, responsible AI is about how to build it. What is right? What is the right way to do this? All the different things I was telling you: inclusion, responsibility, and accountability, and all that stuff that I was giving you. Ethics is, all that is about how you build, but also about what not to do with AI. So if AI, especially if you're building AI, you know that it has so much capability. So when I teach my product managers, I tell them, think about how somebody could misuse this product that you're building, and you're thinking about your different personas and stakeholders. Then think about the persona that could be an evil persona. So, for example, when Facebook built their product, they did not know Cambridge Analytica would come one day and take all their data and misuse it. But they made a choice that they will give access to their data to their customers who are buying ads from them. And even after they stop being their customers, they could still keep the data. That was the fun. It was a product feature decision that led to Cambridge Analytica misusing the platform, taking everybody's information, right, and manipulating and people with that. So if you're thinking about as a product manager or a designer, you think of other stakeholders and how you plug that, right? So ethics is about what should not be done with this technology. I want to talk to you about another example. One of my students was building using voice, and this is an engineering student, learning design and trying to learn AI. So they do engineer. They are designing engineering structures and the like, and they learned AI, and the AI was totally like new for them. And so they started thinking, big ideas from out of their world. And they said, oh, AI can generate voice. What if it create an AI companion, and that AI companion could be a person who doesn't exist anymore? So those of you who have taken my generative AI course or know generative AI know that it can generate voices, right? Synthetic voice, or it can create a voice that looks like another person. It can create a face that looks like another person. So I'm talking about voice here. So if it's generating a voice that sounds like somebody, then it could be misused in a fake news setting. But this student was thinking about an application where they said, this person died, what if we could get their voice reading a book to their daughter? And if you think about it with kindness, like you were saying, ethics is about kindness, Satish, we could say, it looks like a kind thing to do, but you have to think about, is it ethical to build out something now that can be misused by somebody? Now they are going to create fake voices of other people. Even the ethics of an AI companion is a very big topic. I would love to talk to you. In fact, there's a conference that's coming up in July, and I will share the call for that in the newsletter in March first week that goes out in the Jamte newsletter. And there is a call about thinking about AI companions. And last night I was thinking about this. That's why this topic came to top of mind for me. If you're building an AI companion, and I don't know if you have looked at character.ai, there are several sites where the AI pretends to be a character and chats with you in a simple LLM chatbot. And if you have a character and it has a personality, people get attached to that character, what are the other psychological implications, legal implications, moral implications? And so that's what this conference is calling for. But I started thinking about that. So coming back, when we're thinking about AI ethics versus responsible AI is about giving a framework on how to build AI right. What are the different pillars that you need to take care of to build AI? Ethics is even a step further, saying, should I be building that thing? Should I be giving this capability to this AI because it can do this stuff? And is that moral? And should I be allowing for that? And the allowing or disallowing should not come only from regulators. It should come from you as an innovator when you conceive of an idea and you ask for something. And the interesting thing is, this student basically said, I want to create a voice of a person who lives on, who after they're dead. And I was teaching this AIX framework, which is about designing AI. And so I was actually saying, is this a person who is the customer for this? Is this a person who is alive who says, I want my voice to live on beyond me, and so create this AI for me, and I will leave it as my legacy for my children to talk to me? Or is it a person who lost a loved one and said, like the example of the dad who could read to the child, who said, I lost my dad and I would like to hear my dad's voice. And this is a child asking for a person who's no more. So the example we see in generative AI world is like, oh, in museums, what if we can have like the artist from 100 years back show up and talk to us? I'm looking at a painting and Ravi Verma shows up and explains the painting to me, or Picasso shows up and explains the painting to me. And that doesn't seem so bad because they are dead and gone 100 years back, right? But if it is somebody who's somebody's dad, it sounds a little creepy. And if you think you can extrapolate it and leave that, then it raises a lot of moral discussion around that. And one of the things that we discussed in my panel at the Responsible AI Summit last week was, when you're thinking about ethics and implementing ethics in the Responsible AI framework, and if you're a global company or if you have customers everywhere, what is correct and morally okay changes from culture to culture. So there could be a local culture who thinks something is respectful and okay, and there might be cultures who thinks that's sacrilegious and it's the elder and you don't do this, right? And so how do you manage that? And we had a discussion of that in our panel. And so it becomes interesting. So that's what I want to put out to you. I don't want to make our entire discussion about responsible AI and AI ethics, because I could teach a whole course on that for you. But if you have topics in here that you want to learn more about and it's intriguing for you, or if you're sitting at work and you're finding something, so tell me what you're feeling about this, right? If this is interesting, we can pick up this conversation. And one of the things I could do is, at Weekly Wed, we started out a whole series. After Diavin spoke on Wednesday, we have Ayodele coming in this Wednesday, this next Wednesday, about auditing AI. And we could actually go on and teach, we can pick up that topic a lot more, right? That is what we are thinking. So I'm very big on getting names right, because culturally, if we don't get that, not heard that person's name, we miss out an opportunity on engaging with somebody very amazing. So this is Ayodele Odubela, and she is one of the 100 Brilliant Women in AI Ethics, an Aspen Tech Fellow for Policy. And she has a course on LinkedIn Learning about auditing AI. She has one on Responsible AI Foundation. I've taken some of her courses. I love it. So she is going to be our speaker next Wednesday at Weekly Wed. Our Weekly Wed is always at 9 o'clock, my time, Pacific time, California time, which should be 18-hour in Europe or Nigeria. And noon in East Coast in US. So she's going to come talk to us, and we're going to continue this discussion, what we think as responsible AI, what we think as ethics. Instead of a philosophical nomenclature discussion about this, we're going to go deeper into aspects of it. We're going to continue that. What we've decided is that's going to be our theme for rest of Feb into March, and entire March we have a whole set of series of speakers coming in. We have Catherine Ingham coming in talking about, let's dig deeper. Okay, we're talking about fairness and bias. What does that mean? Let me teach you that. And so we're going to go build up all the different pieces of responsible AI and ethics, and go figure out how it is done practically at in work. What are the challenges and what are the tools and what questions to ask, how to go about that. So that's kind of the direction we are going. I also told you that there are a lot of jobs in responsible AI, so I'm going to share some of them. Okay, let me share my screen. I like to share my screen because then you get to see the job. And again, as I said, this is all going to be posted from Business School of AI on LinkedIn if you want to follow right here, or the Jamte newsletter. If you follow, you'll get one straight document that you can look. So Elizabeth Samara Rubio, I worked with her in the past. She's an awesome person. So she's at SEMA.ai, and she's looking for a strong software product manager with experience in AI, ML, Gen AI, multimodal applications, and Edge AI. Edge AI is another area where I'm seeing, we've been talking about AI, the traditional machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, and they are there, right? NLP took off and became more LLM, and kind of pivoted into chatbots. We got stuck a little bit with just chatbots, saying what else can we do? Machine translation is great. Can we do more? And so now I think we are going from just saying here is the software of the AI and it is sitting as an inference, and you can do searches and you can do chats, to it is actually going to devices, to physical AI or edge AI. It is going to, it could be on your phone, it could be on manufacturing equipment, and my favorite edge device is an autonomous vehicle. So many of you know that I share, my videos chasing autonomous vehicles, and I teach another class. I've taught a class on autonomous vehicle at Stanford, and so I bring that back into all my examples and conversations. So the Edge AI part is very exciting for me. So I found some other. So that is, let me share this link. It might be easier for you. I'm going to come back to LinkedIn. Elizabeth Samara. Job. Okay. So that's the job I mentioned. So I'm actually adding this right in the comments. So if you want, you can add, you can join the newsletter, guys. But if you don't want to, I don't want to, send you anywhere else. So you can actually get the job that I'm listing here. So that is one. We also saw Orlando already, is in a growing department with a lot of jobs out there in the Gen AI space. Adobe has an audio AI research engineer job that just got posted, I believe. It's about 2 weeks old. Then there is, yeah, Zeus. Talking of autonomous vehicle, Zeus, the self-driving car company, has a human-computer interaction researcher intern. That's quite a load. I don't know what that job is about. I'm going to go show you and we can figure that out. So one thing, I don't know if you've noticed this in LinkedIn. So the job says human computer interaction researcher intern, and it is on-site internship. They've given a salary range, and You can say, am I a good fit for it? Tailor my resume. How can I best position for this job? And so this is how it is going, and it shows people from your network and stuff. So basically, this is the experience team, and they want to create a human-centered design process that is collaborative, data-driven, and iterative. So this is a design role. Work closely with designers. So this person works with designers, researchers, engineers, and product managers, design and plan research activities, communicate research findings. Very interesting. So I'm just going to say, am I a good fit, just to show you the AI aspect of it. So it says evaluating the job description. So you could do that and put the LinkedIn AI to work. It will research a company. It will go into my own LinkedIn and tell me I'm a fit, I'm not a fit, or whatever. But that's what it is going to do. So that'll be an interesting thing. Okay, that failed. It did not do it. Okay, so the chatbot failed. That's unfortunate. I'm going to see, how can I best position myself? I'm just continuing the chat. This is Gen AI at work, evaluating the job description, analyzing patterns. It's doing a lot of chat, but it's not giving me anything useful yet. Analyzing patterns across successful applications, reviewing your profile and skills. Oops, no. I think it doesn't want to tell me I'm not a fit for this job. I'm not going to be a human computer interaction research intern. Sorry, guys. Okay. So I would recommend, if you're interested in a job, just try that. I find that feature. It's a very interesting, useful application of Gen AI instead of, basic stuff. I also, let's see whether there are more jobs. I wanted to give shout out to some people. There's a whole bunch of research jobs. I just can't keep reading out these jobs. Okay, those who are still here, do you have questions for me? We just covered yeah, the difference between ethics and responsible AI. So I see also Neuro has a leader in machine learning in autonomous driving technology. I told you about the audio AI research engineer in Adobe. Um, then Seema, I showed you that. Scale AI also has the job. Similarly, LG Electronic North America has a director of green tech. There's a bunch of energy jobs. Somebody has collated a bunch of energy jobs in local US government because of the layoffs that's happening. HCL Tech has a bunch of AI, responsible AI jobs out there. Outside of jobs, there's a bunch of activity that you have seen about reasoning, better reasoning. So if you go to Business School of AI, I did a weekly web session about reasoning. What is reasoning? I actually have a LinkedIn post here. So if you just go to Business School of AI, you'll see that of what is reasoning, what is not reasoning, different kind of reasoning. Because it's important to understand that, because there's a lot of news that's coming out about reasoning models that you will see. And Meta has actually done a partnership with UNESCO and is calling for a language technology partner program. And you can contribute 10 hours of speech recording along with transcription. They want at least 200 sentences in your language with translated sentences for any document, and you can sign up to be a partner. Basically, they're collecting language data because they want to improve their llama model for various world languages. And then I told you there's a conference about the AI companionship that's called the Symposium for AI Human Companionship. So I will share that in the newsletter. The other interesting thing is DeepSeek. How many of you want to hear about DeepSeek? You're maxed out on hearing about DeepSeek. I'm not going to do that. You want to hear about DeepSeek? Yes or no? Show me a thumbs up. Show me your heart, or this hand or something. And I want to see, because I've done a session on demystifying DeepSeek at Weekly Wed. I wrote a post about DeepSeek. What's the big deal? Why does it matter for enterprise at automated buildings, as an article? And they put things in open source. They did things cheaper. Yes? Okay, thank you. So the big difference is DeepSeek is an LLM like every other LLM that's out there. It's a reasoning model. But they first put things in open source. which is different from everybody else who's actually got a closed model and saying, here's our API. The second thing is it disrupted the market because they said, oh, it doesn't cost us 600 million. We could build this in 6 million. And so suddenly, what was not accessible to everybody in the world is now accessible because everyone in the world, I know one of my mentees from Nigeria has downloaded DeepSeek and is building their own model for their language, machine translation. And this person has done this with GPT-2, worked with him when he has done this with T5 and Llama 3. And so now this person is like, his name is Bello Mohammed, and he's like, okay, now let me try this with DeepSeek. And he can do it because it is cheap. He does not require that many GPUs. So that's creating a market disruption. That's what it started from. And I did this demystifying DeepSeek session because technically they have used reinforced learning on how they, on top of the transformer model, the same kind of transformer architecture, but they on how they design they were able to do that with less data and do it cheaper, right? So why, right? The technology of it, the business implication of challenging the status quo is what is creating all this noise. And so there's a recent news about the US. I don't know if they've done it yet, but there was a posturing that they want to do it, that they want to ban it in government organizations from using DeepSeek. That does not stop everyone from US from using it. That does not stop everyone in the world from using it. That doesn't stop every student and engineer and anyone to go download that from open source and try it. But there's also been like allegations of, are they secure enough, and here is our security model, and Cohere has launched some security framework that saying we are more secure. And today I saw somewhere just before I came for SudhaLive that DeepSeek said, we've got more models, we're going to put everything in open source, here it is. And so if you go to Hugging Face, you will see a whole section on DeepSeek and what the whole world is working on. That is the real deal. And in SudhaLive, we are trying to bring a session which is more hands-on. Usually, not SudhaLive, in our weekly web, we are trying to build a session on something more hands-on. So if you're working on DeepSeek, playing with it, or you're trying this at work, tell me. I want to get a sense of reality, right? Okay, I see. I missed a question here, Satish. I'm sorry about that. What about safety aspect in automotive? Tell me what. Elaborate your question more. Tell me what you're asking about safety. What do you mean by safety aspect in automotive? You're talking about autonomous vehicles and that they are not safe. Is that what you're asking? Can you elaborate that? And I'll answer that question. That's my favorite topic, so I'm very happy to answer that. Thank you, and thank you for asking that. In fact, I'm finding, so one of the trends is DeepSeek came about. There's a whole noise on that. And the security aspect of LLM is being discussed and innovated around. Then there is the whole cost of doing this, because every time we are using LLM, we are burning forests, we are depleting water from entire towns. So we have to be responsible. So there's a moment of people, including me, who don't want to abandon AI because AI has value, but we want to be very responsible, not just the responsible framework, but think about, do we need AI to do this? Or do we want to use Gen AI to do this? Is there value in it? And one of the other organizations that is using, that is creating their own foundation model is India. So India AI has announced a call for proposal for building India's foundation model. They said Jan 30, they extended it to February. Now they're basically saying, as and when they get 15th of every month, as they get submissions, they are going to review it, and they're going to select a set that they're going to support. And there is let me check. I'm sorry, I was not sharing. Thank you for that. I was not sharing the screen. Yeah. So this is called India AI. Again, I'll put this all in the newsletter. We will also share it in Business School of AI, okay? Right here on LinkedIn. So India AI, they basically saying, call for proposal to build India's foundation model. And there's a bunch of effort that is happening in India already in language space, with AI for Bharat. Abhinaya Mahendran is a very important person in that space who started, or who is part of a team contributing to Cohere for Tamil language, and they're doing amazing stuff. And so now India AI is saying, give me a proposal. We want to build a foundation model for India. And it is not, it's like building the native foundation model, right? Earlier, the thinking was it's very hard because you'll need a lot of GPUs, you'll burn forests, and it'll cost so much money. And so we will use one of the foundation models from 3 or 4 big companies. Now it feels like it's accessible in open source. And so there's a whole movement of countries, language groups who are just building. I know Singapore government had built out a foundation model. There is one, this couple like that from different universities collaboration that has come. So if this is something that you're working on, if that is something you're playing with, this would be an opportunity for you. So we spoke about responsible AI ethics. We spoke about DeepSeek. I'm also seeing, and we are seeing the edge AI, where AI is moving to the edge. And I'm seeing AI in AV picking up. So autonomous in my world in San Francisco here, I can get a ride from Waymo, like a Uber or Lyft app, and I can just get a ride. And I've shared my Waymo ride right here on LinkedIn. If you scroll through my profile, I think it's a featured link that I have saved when I, went first time, and then I've driven, taken a ride in Waymo in LA. It's available in multiple places in Phoenix. Cruise was giving that, but Cruise shut down. There has been, but there's a lot of autonomous vehicle in mining and so many other industries too. Zeus has come with their self-driving car, so I'm trying to, wait for it to give us a ride. In fact, my friend David Kerrigan from Ireland, who used to teach the autonomous vehicle masterclass right here on Business School of AI, periodically we show up with a class. And right now I don't have a live class offering because I'm busy with the LinkedIn Learning courses. So I would recommend to just go take my LinkedIn Learning courses or ask me, and I will give you referrals for other courses that's not in my portfolio. I'm fine with it. I want you to keep learning, ask questions, build something interesting, come talk to me, and we can learn together. And I'm looking always for gaps where we can build something, make something happen. And I want my students to do that. So David Kerrigan used to teach this AV masterclass with me. I think last year we had this on Business School of AI as a series of AV classes. I know some of you are asking me for AV class. I don't have the bandwidth right now, and I'm watching the space. I am tracking it, and I will bring it to you as soon as I can. Okay. So, but I'm seeing the AI in AV pick up, and so David was saying, we should just get into one of the robotaxis or autonomous vehicles, sit there and do a live course. I would love to do that. If Zeus, you're listening, I'm happy to do a course, or Waymo, you're listening, I'm happy to do a course. It'll be so much fun to teach students about autonomous vehicles. And there's so many aspects of it, so many dimensions of it, because I did a whole semester long course at Stanford and people couldn't get enough and they wanted more. And so I did more courses on just value creation from data, from autonomous vehicle, from the connected car, and so on, right? So Satish question, have you clarified safety aspect? Bring AI safe or not? Okay, thank you for clarifying that. So there are several AI in the autonomous vehicles. The car has, when a car is made into an autonomous vehicle, it has a lot of cameras all around it, and it has a LiDAR at the top, and those are all various sensors, and they collect information. So it uses computer vision to see the road. And there are different levels of safety, and the 5 is the highest level where the car can drive autonomously. 4 is when it can drive autonomously but without a human driver. 5 is when it can drive in all kinds of terrain. It can run in a hot desert, it can run in the rain, it can run in the snow, it can run in a blizzard, that kind of thing, right? That is level 5. We don't have level 5 today. Technology is being built with computer vision getting better and better, and that is still happening. That's the foundation of the technology layer. Other than that, there is tons of AI. There is voice in the car. If you just Google and find out, it's called MBUX. I think Mercedes Benz has a voice in the car. They have evolved it with multiple different technologies for giving voice in the car. There are companies who are making sense of the data that's collected in the car, because every car that's built today by every manufacturer is a connected car, because they send data to the cloud. So there's a lot of AI to manage that payload, safety of that. It's pure cloud technology. It's nothing new just because it's autonomous vehicle. And there is VR experience in the car. all those things. Other than that, there is a lot of AI to just manage the safety of the vehicle, because think of this like a complex system. It's like integration of various different platforms from various different technologies. Bosch might have a speaker, somebody might have a sensor. There's a technology where they replace the mirror with a camera, and then somebody has created that technology, and that is going to sit in one small unit. So that's what I'm calling, that becomes another aspect of edge AI. So there are technology, AI safety technologies, that is just checking for the integration to predict whether an accident would happen before it happened, that kind of thing. So I would say AI does play a very important aspect in the safety of autonomous vehicles. I'm not talking about AI just getting better in the car, seeing the road so that it can drive autonomously. That is still evolving, but it is not perfect. But it can still not, it can not understand a shadow properly. That is evolving. And so most of the cars that is out there publicly, like the Waymo, are level 4, which means they go through a certain route and they drive again and again and again, and then they understand that and they stay with that. So a lot of AVs, when they get started, they do it in college campus or like small little communities, and then they expand to certain cities, and they kind of, that's why Waymo runs in specific towns, because it's been running again and again in these towns, right? So that's what they're doing. I hope that answers your question. I would love to bring more on autonomous vehicles. So in fact, I want to make an announcement. By my next LinkedIn learning course that I've signed up and I'm just getting started is called AIX, which is about designing a human-centered design for artificial intelligence using autonomous vehicle. I've once taught this class many years back with my friend Dr. Charles Icahn, and I've been wanting to do that, but it's a big topic. Just AIX, designing human-centered AI for voice, for AR, for VR itself is big. But I just found in CES that there is a whole bunch of technology. AI companies are all like, connecting with self-driving car companies. So NVIDIA has launched this Drive OS. NVIDIA has something called um, Drive OS. You're welcome, Satish. Thank you for that question. NVIDIA launched something called Drive OS in partnership with Toyota. There was another cloud AI technology also from NVIDIA in partnership with Uber. So I'm finding this AI in the car is picking up back again. So I'm going to use that as an example and teach how to design AI. Like, it could be in the building process of AI, the designing of AI framework to think about that. So that's going to be the next class. It's called AIX. I'm not, I don't know what they will call the class finally, but it's called AIX, Designing Artificial Intelligence. But it'll be, and all my examples will be using autonomous vehicles. So hope I'll get to go play with more autonomous vehicles. And if you're in that space, working on it, I would love for you to, ping me and say, this is working. I know some people tag me. I appreciate that. If that's interesting, I definitely check it. I might not comment on everything because some people just tag me because they just think that I will give them a repost. I will not give a repost to anything blindly. I don't endorse any brand, but I love cool technology and I want it to, I also think about what I'm talking, right? About ethically, whether this should not be done, should we plug this, do this responsibly. So I kind of think about that, and then, I might ping you and say, tell me more about this. Or if you are, offering something exciting for my students, I might invite you to speak or something. I also want to give a shout out to some people. This is Mark Hebert. He just got lost his job from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which is one of the organizations, the government department that unfairly lost their job. So he's just posted here saying, what kind of things he has done, and if you can help, with the job. I'm finding like a lot of people, see thousands of people liking this, sharing, reposting it. I find that lot of people who are, who have been in tech industry, but they thought they were actually serving the government, and it's a good thing, public service. So they ended up taking up these jobs, and then they lost their job, right? So I just wanted to give a shout out. And I'm also very touched by how everybody is coming together to help everyone else who's losing their job, to tell them, okay, help me, tell me, I will help you if there is someone in my network, and things like that. So that actually got me thinking when I saw this AI companion uh, conference that I was telling you about, and it's called the Symposium for AI Human Companionship. And I actually was thinking about that because I had this student who did the digital companion voice of this dad who is no more reading a book to their child, and I've had discussion about this. I've had some discussion right here in our live stream too. So it was very fascinating for me to see real people, see other people lost their job. So somebody lost their job, but then they're doing a call out to help their colleagues, other people coming together. So I was just thinking, can we really teach AI kindness? Can we teach it empathy? And those of you who are taking my Agent AI course and sharing your certificate, think about it. If can you create an agent that is a goal oriented agent that can actually optimize for kindness? How would you do that? And how would you help people? Because I showed you a LinkedIn AI for job to see whether I'm a fit kind of thing, right? That it is doing Gen AI stuff, right? uh, if the AI is looking at people posting and saying this person is related to this person is posting a lot, and this post is important and it will improve it in the feed. So there is AI everywhere, right? But it cannot understand the context that strangers are coming to help others. Oh, and the people who are posting are like posting so that it reaches a broader reach into their network, and they have empathy, and they're doing that. This is like when a whole set of people are unfairly lost their job, whole set of people are coming together at a grassroots level and helping each other. And historically this has happened. I've seen the dot-com crash, I've seen like big layoffs in large companies, and always one person would volunteer and collect all the jobs and put that into some list, so that even if it is not their kind of job, they will be, somebody else would be able to benefit. So I just find that humanity or empathy of humans coming together to help each other is beautiful. But when we are building AI and we are thinking about ethics of AI and responsible AI, give me a framework and what is ethics, and is ethics about kindness? And thank you for actually, asking me that comment right at the start. And I've not met you. You are new here. I don't know if you are my student here, but thank you for that. Satish, thank you for that. I hope you will follow us on Business School of AI, and I hope I will be able to help you, because I think you are working in the automotive space somehow. I don't know more. Just I'm seeing from LinkedIn here. So we could continue our conversation. We could do more, and I can give you, more content from my other students and other courses I've done or anything if you're interested more in the automotive safety also. But I thank you for bringing that comment about kindness. So I want to wrap up. We've gone past our hour. This has been a fantastic discussion. Thank you so much. And I shared this bit.ly/Damte newsletter, all the jobs and more. There's more jobs. I just didn't want to just read out a bunch of jobs. I'll be sharing that. I have a bunch of reading material, and calls and stuff like that. I have some research papers also that are very fascinating about how our cognition is changing. We're kind of dumbing down a little bit by just making generative AI do the writing for us. There's like published research on that that was kind of thought we knew it, but it was still shocking, things like that. But I want to close out saying we talked about ethics and responsible AI, and how we can, about kindness is part of ethics, and I'm just thinking this AI, as it is seeing people post, it cannot understand it is kindness. It cannot emulate that. But if you're thinking about Agent AI and you're working on Agent AI, maybe there's a project that maybe we can test it out and think about how do you build the AI agent. Maybe it's a multi-agent system. You're building something towards a goal. Can you make it be empathetic? Like, as much as ethics is about what you don't do and responsibility AI is how you do it, I think there is an area of, can you make the AI do things in an ethical way? So with that, I want to wrap up. Thank you everybody for hanging in there and having a fun discussion with me. I appreciate it. Hopefully I will see some of you at Weekly Wed. Some of you will, maybe, join us live on Zoom at Weekly Wed. Let me give that link here. Thank you for the reminder. Weekly Wed registration. And I will see you back on Business School of AI on right here on LinkedIn. Otherwise, I'll see you next month at SudhaLive. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe, and I will see you. Stay empathetic. Continue to build amazing AI with empathy, and let's continue to talk and share and learn together. Bye now.